So, yeah, welcome. This used to be Truly Gifted Hoops podcast, but I really didn't want to limit this podcast to just basketball, even though, I'm kind of biased to basketball just because that's the sport I grew up playing and that's the sport that I love. So, but yeah, I recently changed the name and just rebranded it to the CLT Media Podcast. So, we're going to go with that. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time to sit down with CLT Media Group and the podcast. And, the purpose of the interview is to really just introduce yourself and share the vision of Ascension Sports Academy to prospective athletes, parents, and just the rest of the community. So we just gonna get right into the Q&A. But before we
Yeah.
do that, just take a moment to introduce yourself, man, and let everybody know who you are.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me. And yeah, I remember when you did start it out as the truly gifted and a couple, players that, we all recognize, we know of, watched for some time. But I thought it was a dope thing you had going on, and it's, I'm glad that you're expanding it out to additional sports too as well, man. Additional people, not just, the basketball, because, we love basketball, and I that's the thing, with Ascension Sports Academy or anything that I'm involved with is that, like, we're people at the end of the day, and this game is just a thing that we're using to connect with each other, right? It's just a language that we're using, right? So whether it's basketball, football, soccer, music, arts, whatever, man, like these are all things that we share as people and can find commonality. And so I think it's, dope, man. I've always been an advocate of basketball players, athletes expanding themselves outside of their athletics, because you just ain't just a person who throws a football or basketball. So that's dope, man. But yeah, John Edwards, man, from Long Island, New York originally, born
Okay.
in Brooklyn, raised in Elmont, Long Island. My background is an interesting one because, when I was coming up, I wasn't one of the best players coming up, man. I had to work extremely hard and kill myself to become a good basketball player. So from there, man, I went on and started actually my college career at Stony Brook University. For those who don't know, it's a Division I school in Long Island. I actually ended up having a redshirt there for academic reasons. So I was there for basically half a semester and then transferred to a junior college in Texas called Tyler Junior College. Was out there for 2 years and then from there transferred and played at Radford University in Virginia and then graduated from there in 2012. Coming up, man, like, went through the AU scene, went through the prep scene, went to prep school, did the whole deal, the reclassification, the following hopping coaches, following coaches to different schools, following AAU coaches to different AAU, the whole deal, right? A whirlwind, man. Like, so kind of never was able to get settled, man. But funny thing is, man, like once I graduated college, I had the opportunity to probably play professional overseas, make some decent money. But I thought for me, man, my journey was important for me to just get right into coaching. So I just got right into coaching high school, coach college. A lot of people do not know I coached college for 5 years. Coached at the college level for 5 years, Division I JUCO called Tyler Junior College, where I went and played for. Same coach, the whole deal. That was the most stability I probably ever had from a basketball standpoint, man. Because as a player, constantly hopping, moving around, right? And I think it's important too, like that kids have solid coaches slash mentors in their life that they can trust and lean on because, the coach at Tyler was that for me. His name is Mike Marquardt. He's just recently retired this year, junior college Hall of Famer, and yeah, I think has the most wins in, men's junior college basketball history, but took me under his wing and really learned the coaching business from him. So then from there, man, after I left Tyler coaching, I was there coaching from 2013, 2018, and moved to Charlotte. Funny thing, man, like the 2 years after when I moved to Charlotte, I completely stayed away from basketball. I wanted no part. Like it just was that, that time in my life, man. Like there's a lot changing. I was not married at the time, moving to new city, kind of just figuring things out. Like I kind of just moved on a whim. I was just like, yo, like I got to make some changes in my life. And for me, it was just like let's go ahead and, I was familiar. I knew people in Charlotte. You know, let's go ahead and do that. I was in Texas for 5 years, so things just end up happening. I believe it was God just kind of moving me and putting me in a place to where I could kind of have some stability because I just moved around and hopped around so much as a youngin.
Yeah, man.
So yeah. So
Shout out to God, man. Always on
yeah, yeah.
time.
Facts, man.
Always on time.
So yeah. So been here, man. Most recently, coached at a school in Rock Hill that some are familiar with. And then from there, um, the funny thing, that was my first girls coaching job. And then yeah, it was good. It was a man, listen, man, like went from coaching guys
Yeah.
to coaching girls and there was a change, but man, like I believe like once again, like I don't know if God, when I say God, like I don't mean God like actually like cares enough about basketball, but I believe like he can use it to show you things about yourself. And I believe like coaching girls has helped me become a better man in a sense because like I have to be the standard of what a man should be and how he should conduct themselves to these young ladies. Because unfortunately, we got a lot of men in the space who don't do that. So I've always been a disciplined person, focused person, but I've taken it to a whole nother degree because I understand that, like, the ladies deserve our very best as men if we're going to be in a space. Like, we don't need to be half stepping in any aspect, whether it's the basketball coaching or in our personal lives. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, man, I feel like coaching it requires a certain level of trust, from the parents and from the girls themselves. So you as the recipient of that trust is a I think is a sacred relationship that should be, should always be respected. So shout out to you for being that type of coach, man. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. So now we're here. This is actually year two of me running Ascension Sports Academy. And, the first year was just kind of just, yeah, it was birthed by a number of different things, right? Like for me, one was providing opportunities to kids that I knew that I had like a tight connection with, right? And didn't want to kind of leave them out to dry because of the situation that was out of our control. Then also my passion for teaching the game, my passion for coaching, because really the thing is with it is, it's not just like we're a high school team or a prep academy that, is out here hunting other schools' players and trying to take kids off of other schools. That's not really what I'm trying to do. My thing is what I'm trying to build and what we are, because it's not just me. We have other individuals who help along with me. But what we're trying to build is like a basketball ecosystem that develops players and people, student athletes, right? Because like what I believe that my gift is, obviously the technical aspect of coaching and helping players improve and get better, but it's also like, yo, like we got to get back to teaching kids morals and integrity and love of the game and being someone who stands for something and getting back to the character traits in coaching. I think that's completely we don't hear that conversation come up, man. Like it never comes up when like kids are deciding where they're going to go to who to play for AU, for high school, for college. Who are the people that are coaching you or coaching your child? Like what kind of people are they?
Right.
It's always about what they can do. Oh, they can do this, or they know this coach, or they can do this, or they play on this circuit, or da da da. The list can go on. But
Mm-hmm.
do we ever think about like, yeah, like what kind of person is around my kid?
Right. Yeah, man. That's important.
You know what I mean? Like like, how many conversations you hear parents talking about like, like that coach is a genuine person, like a real person. Like you don't hear that conversation come up, man.
Yeah, I
So
mean, ever since I've got into this space, man, I've heard some crazy things like, just the way coaches, interact with, like let's say for example, single moms.
yeah,
Like
there you go.
I mean, I'll keep it a buck, man. Like I've just heard crazy things. So,
Yep. Dudes can't, folk can't stay out of they hope, stay in their own room.
yeah, yeah, man. So,
Like you should can't stay out of the bar. You
yeah,
know,
but
can't it's just
it just
I mean, it's
requires
real.
yeah, it requires a special level of discipline, man. So, I get that. And I'm not blind. Like nobody's blind. Like we see what's going on. So yeah, I think it's important to just conduct yourself with a certain level of self respect. Just understanding the space that you're in and understanding that people are always watching. It's kind of like you got to set the example at all
Yeah, like
time.
we want the kids, and the funny thing is like, we'll call this generation soft. We'll say they don't care about nothing. We'll say
Mm,
they lazy, but who is showing them how to
yeah,
behave, how to conduct themselves? It ain't
yeah.
the kids. You think the kids are leading each other? You know they not leading each other, bro. It's they watching the people that's ahead of them and seeing how they're behaving.
For sure. So, I just want to touch on this whole idea of building a vision. You're not just coaching a team, right? You're helping build this program basically from the ground up. So, talk to me about what excites you about this opportunity.
Yeah, so there's a couple things, right? Like with this is right. One, there's one side of it where there's a sports performance, there's a training, coaching, developmental aspect of it, where I have players that I coach that I train
Hmm.
that will never play a game for me ever, right?
Right.
And that's an important part to me because I can't. There's only 10 people that can be on a team.
Hmm.
Right. And some of these kids, they're in situations where maybe it's good for them to stay where they're at. Maybe it's good for them to stay at the school or the program that they're at. And what they need is, someone that's going to help them refine parts of their game or help them build confidence, things like that. So there's that part, there's that section. And that's guys and girls. That's not, I don't just coach guys. I don't just, like, people, I do not just coach girls and I do not just coach guys. I
Okay.
don't got just coach high school players or middle school. I have kids that I coach from that's 5 years old all the way up to college,
Sure.
right? And my objective in my as far as culture is to have a system to where I take a player from 5 years old and take them all the way from middle school to high school to college. And hopefully, if they're lucky and if they, if God blesses them and they work hard enough, professional, right? And regardless of where a kid go to school, they always have a home to come back to because they said, well, man, I was with Coach John or I was with Ascension from when the time I started walking and talking to the time, I made it and walked across the draft stage. That is
Yeah.
like for me, that's the culture I'm trying to build is that like, especially how many schools, kids are transferring to nowadays, right? Like
Yeah.
what's home?
Right.
Where's your home? Like, oh, so we're gonna create. We can't change it, right? The bottle, the tube, the water, the paste thing going back in the bottle. Kids are transferring to schools. They making moves. They going to this prep. They're gonna transfer from college. They're gonna maybe go to 2 or 3 schools. It is
Hey,
what it is.
yeah. Even the AAU portal is popping these
Yeah,
days.
yeah. But at least they'll have a home with us, right? Meaning like, hey, like when you come, like, I may not have went to, go visit when I'm back in town, I ain't going to visit my 3 high schools I went to while I was living here, but I can come back to Ascension Sports. I can come back and see Coach John and like that'll
Mm,
be home, right? So
fish.
it is what it is, right? Like, so that's the idea that that really in my mind birthed it on
Hmm.
the school team side or the prep team side, every kid cannot transfer. I mean, like I see kids transferring schools 3, 4 times. I did
Hmm.
that, man.
Yeah.
I do not wish that on nobody. I do not want kids having to uproot every single year because they're trying to pursue a basketball goal, but they got to leave their school because one, their coach leaves. Two, the team ain't good. The kids don't know how to play because on the girls' side, man, like we got like 7, maybe 6 good teams in the whole area. If we're gonna keep it a stack, if we're gonna keep it 100,
Yeah.
most of it ain't great. Most of it ain't good. So what are these kids gonna leave every single time a coach decides to hop and go somewhere else, or every time like half the seniors, and then you left here by like you can't do that every year, man. Like you can't
Yeah.
just go chase, chase, chase. So it's like all right, like because people ask me, it's like, are you guys an actual school? I said, no, we're not an actual school. Do the kids have to leave their school? No. Do they have to homeschool? They can. They don't have to.
Hmm.
I'm not an educator. I don't
Right.
pose to be one. I am a basketball coach. I don't have no other jobs besides coaching basketball. That's all I do for a living.
Sure.
So my expertise is basketball. I'm not here to debate with parents or people on what educational setup is best for your kid because that's up to you and your family. That's a family decision.
Sure.
I can tell you from a basketball perspective what would make sense for your kid to do, but really what we're doing is like I had kids that were in situations where it didn't make sense for them to transfer and go to another school,
Yeah.
and they can't stay where they're at because either there ain't enough girls to play or There ain't enough girls to play. They may be enough girls to play, but they can't play. Like y'all know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
y'all smart, man. Y'all see the scores of these games that's out here.
Yeah.
So, if I'm a kid and I really take this stuff serious, and yet I'm playing on a team with a bunch of no offense, soccer players and and cheerleaders, like that's not best for my development, right?
Nah.
Or I have a coach who really ain't a basketball person, and I need to really be in the gym with somebody consistently who knows what they're doing. And that's once again, like, it's not a thing of, for me, it's like, I'm like, what, I got to take, you know, name the top 5 players in the city, try and just grab them all so I can, win a bunch of games. Like, realistically, I don't really. It's not that serious to me, right?
Okay.
It's serious enough to the point where, like, if you come play, you have to be serious, meaning, like, you have to be dedicated to the work.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to promise people besides the work. I have no, pipe dreams of your kid playing in the SEC or the ACC. I have no pipe dreams of your kid getting a six-figure NIL deal. I have no, I have none of that stuff is stuff that I am offering anybody.
Right.
I just say, hey, if you want to come here and play and work with us, whether you train with us, whether you play with us during the school year, is that it's going to be, and this is the hard way.
Yeah.
This is the hard way.
No shortcuts.
This is not the shortcut way. If you're looking for a short, this is where you come and get ready to play in college, because that's where I came from. I
Hmm.
don't know how to coach any other way.
Gotcha.
So, at the top of the list as far as coach is concerned is hard work. It starts with hard work. Then it starts with integrity, meaning, are you a good person? Are you respectable? Are you going to be disciplined and show up every day, even whether you feel like it or not? Because as
Uh,
me as a coach, I don't always feel like it. I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, I got stuff going on. I got life, family,
Uh,
that I
Not.
don't always feel like, you listen,
Hey,
I
I
don't,
I tell my kids all. I tell all my kids that. So I got 4 kids, and that's like my motto, man. Just show up. Like I've been doing it, and I didn't know exactly what I was doing. As a parent when I had my first child, and but I understood I needed to show up, man. Like financially, emotionally, like I needed to show up on all fronts. So, and over the time you learn, but yeah, definitely, man, show up. I really love that. But yeah, continue.
no, it's about, like, your feelings, man. Like, I always tell people, like, and I always preach this to my team, like, whether any team, whether they're middle school boys, high school girls, kids I coach in college, you
Mm,
got to think about all the messed up decisions you've ever made in your life.
yeah,
And you probably can equate it to one thing that your feelings were involved in the decision.
sure.
Anytime, and you think about all the best decisions you probably ever made, it took time. You went through the process. It was a rational thought process. You weighed the options. You looked, and what happens is, like, you have folk that, you know, we all are victim to this in some standpoint in our lives, to where we get under duress. We feel like we're under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
The game, life, whatever you want to call it, right? Whatever situation it is in life where feel like we get kind of put under, and our feelings make us rush decisions or make bad decisions. So, even in practice, like, I tell them, like, yo, like, I'm here to create chaos in practice, to where you feel like you're underwater,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to think and make real decisions. Thought process has to be on. So, when this situation in the game or this situation in life, right, comes about, like, you felt that before, and you've been able to work through the critical thinking process, that process under pressure. So, yeah, the game for me, like, every kid ain't gonna make it Division 1, man. Like, every kid ain't gonna make it to college. Shoot, especially the way things are going now. Right?
Yeah.
Like, shoot, like, there's players that are nice, that's sitting at home.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is this game teaching you? What life lessons can you take from this game? What can you gain from being put in these scenarios that the game puts you through, to make you a better person for the next 40 years of your life? That's my whole mantra when it comes to kind of what we're trying to do here, is that, like, yeah, the basketball, man, I know how to coach basketball, respectfully.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. Like, I really know what I'm doing. And that's not even being arrogant or cocky. Like it's the thing of like I put the time in, man. Like I put a lot of time and energy and hours into coaching and developing players and teaching players who couldn't dribble and chew gum into, serviceable and good and competent players. I've been around some of the best coaches in the business. I don't walk around waving that around and
Mm-hmm.
using that as a selling point. But there's a lot of people that I've worked with or coached with or played for and been around that have won NCAA championships, NBA championships, been to Final Fours, that are on committees that make major decisions in high school grassroots sports. Like all those people I know and been around. The problem is like I it's not a problem. I just don't use that
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
marketing tool, like because I want people to be around me and want to be coached by me for me.
right.
Yeah, because I can't, because the other stuff I can't control. I can't guarantee that you get a scholarship. That's based on you and your level of play and what you bring to the table and your production. I have
Sure.
no power and control over that. I can help, I can assist with that, and I will, and then the biggest thing what I tell my players that if you rock with me and you ride with me, I'll go out the way to do what I can. Because at the end of the day, like, I have a life too.
Uh-huh.
But I'll go through hoops and bounds to make sure that, you are in a position to be able to pursue your goals.
For sure.
And and honest about it too as well in an honest way. I'm not gonna make up anything to get a player to keep a player. I'm not gonna sell anything that I'm not gonna sell anybody anything that I can't cash that check on,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is like I'm gonna just be there for you as a person. Like me as a coach, like I'm very very hard and demanding, but at the same time, like I love the kids that play for me that are around me. Like I like not like them. That's feelings. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like I make a choice to be there for them when things are not going great.
Yeah.
You know.
That's different.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. So let me ask you, if somebody just walked off the street into the academy, say a year from now, what would you hope they immediately notice about the culture that you've helped to create over there?
Accountability, man, is number one.
Accountability.
That's something that's lost in a lot of areas. It's just, that's what you touch me. That is something that has been removed or is being attempted to be removed from all aspects of society currently. At the top of society, all the way down, is accountability.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be able to be here and stay the same because we all got stuff to work on, myself included. Me as a coach, I'm not coming every year the same.
Yeah.
I got to come with something different. I got to come with a different type of energy. Or do like, I may be getting older, but I got to get younger, right? Not necessarily, physically, but like I got to come with something fresh. Like I got to come with something like so. I'm gonna be accountable to myself and make sure I don't give no half effort. I don't, give you parts of me when it comes to, my interactions with my players and parents and things like that. But it goes for the same thing because, like, I'm a lead by example as far as my energy and stuff like that is concerned, and so is the coaches. The rest of the coaching staff is, and anybody that works with us, whether that's people who, sponsors or partners or members of the board or whatever.
All the way
But
down to your media guy, man.
media guy,
Jay
everything.
Wall.
Yeah, Jake, shout out Lamar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like it's everything, right? So we're not gonna have steps. So we're gonna provide the best. Is it gonna be perfect? Perfect and the best is not the same. When people want perfection, I don't want perfection out of nobody. I want the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you give your best, you're gonna get as close to perfect as possible,
For sure.
right? And you're gonna strive to be better, right? And that's all you can ask somebody to be at the end of the day. A lot of folk be like, oh, it's got to be, they think perfection is the goal. Nah, it's are you continuing to push forward because there's no as I believe like the human mind is capable of vast amount of things. We've seen it, unfold in history.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you think you can do, there's also a level higher to where you can get to.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why we call it ascension.
Going up.
Yeah, we going up. Yeah, like, and it's not just, we rank number one or whatever. Like it's about, wherever you're at. I always tell people wherever you're at, I'm here to push you 2 steps higher. So if you are all American level, I'm here to push you to generational talent level. I'm here to push you to number one pick in the draft. If you're, kid off the street who can barely tie his shoes and walk in a straight line, I'm here to get you, in shape. I mean, these kids ain't walking around, ain't moving on a joint,
Yeah,
on a phone or on a tablet or on the controls, and just been sitting all day. All right, we here to. So wherever you're starting at, we here to get you. We here to get you to where you need to get to and past that.
sure.
You
Okay.
know,
The group that you have this year, um, a group of student athletes, what kind of legacy do you hope that they leave for the people that are coming after them to follow?
as far as like, so we have a group of kids that have been training with me, with us for like some of them even before the ascension started. But like we have some of the young men and young women that have been with us, been with me for 3, 4 years, man. Like, and they're still just like young, man. They ain't middle school, man. These jokers are just, But like one thing I would say, like that stood out to me recently, I'd say, because we've been putting in like 2-a-days
Yeah,
this summer. Youngins, man. I'm talking about 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, right? And yeah, they play for different AAU teams, things like that. And like they went back, like when I think it's this month when they started back up, and a lot of parents and coaches like, yo, what y'all been doing? What's been like? And that's you. I don't even gotta really. There's no word right you can use,
yeah,
but it's just like, man, like yo, oh, we over there. We over there at Ascension. We over there.
getting it in.
Yeah, yeah. Like my players are my legacy, man. I'm not trying to do anything for me.
Gotcha.
It's about them, bro. Like it's about what they do and how far they're able to push themselves and one stay with the sport and love the sport, not fall out of love with the sport either, bro. Because that's
Man,
a big thing we got. That's a problem we got. Kids not loving the game, and parents, you have a responsibility in that because you chose who you decided to put your kids around, who
yeah,
beat the love of the game and ran the love of it, and you continue to keep bringing them around these people. And these are
man,
choices that you as parents got to live with and deal with. But
love the game.
to love the game,
Love the game.
you gotta love it. All right, the kids is bro. We got a live event. We got girls got their live event this weekend,
Uh-huh.
right? There's gonna be courts filled all over this country.
Yeah,
Some of them gonna have 100 courts. Chicago have 100 courts
I know.
with a bunch of kids out there who do not love basketball.
Just out there because their parents want them out there.
Just out there. Some of y'all spent money on flights, hotels. Y'all gonna spend y'all got your whole family out there. Y'all could have went
Man,
to Dubai. Y'all could have went to Turks and Caicos, but y'all out in Chicago, and your kid does not love the game.
yeah, that's hard, man. That is, you know what? I just had that conversation with one of my kids. I'm like, hey, you don't have to do this for me. I said I'm gonna love you regardless, whatever you decide to do. But hey, you got to do this because you want to.
But it's also, man, the coaches, we have a responsibility to cultivate a love for the game.
Love.
Yeah, but it's something that has to be cultivated, bro. Like my wife, bro. That's not something that just, all right, like, oh, we here. Nah,
Yeah,
bro. That you gotta develop. You have to nurture. There's times where it's hard. There's times you gotta
yeah,
talk through stuff. It's what do you think the game is, bro? Like when they talk about love of the game, that's the same deal.
yeah. I never thought of it like that, but that's true.
Yeah, like, bro, like,
But you know what? I don't know. For me, like, I grew up in that Jordan era, like in the '90s. Watching. So I feel like it was easy for me to fall in love with
mm-hmm.
basketball because I
They don't
got the
watch the game. The kids don't watch it.
nah. They be checking the highlights on Facebook.
Yeah, but
Oh,
it's a different generation. And we have to recognize like we can get like once again, we can get mad about all this stuff, like transfer portals killing the game and
yeah.
and NIL and all they worried about is highlights and
Nah,
everybody
man.
wants to but like we all know what it's supposed to look like and we know what it's supposed to smell like and feel like because we was there during the golden era. I was there, I mean I got a good I was there Jordan, I got the end of it because
Don't
by the
tell me you
time
got Wizards, Jordan.
at high school, grade school, I got Wizards Jordan. I got 98 and 97 Jordan in the fourth and third grade. I remember it though. But like the thing is, my dad had all the tapes of everything early 90s and 80s.
Okay.
So once I started watching, this was a 97, 98, 96, 97. I started really watching Jordan. I saw the game. Then I would go back and watch the old tapes. Phoenix Sun 93, 92 versus the
Yeah,
Blazers.
I watched all that on NBC.
Yeah, I watched. Yeah. I watched my dad had all the tapes. He made sure he recorded all of it. So I would just go back. I'm like, oh, okay. So like, like oh, Magic, boom, like Detroit in '88 and '80. I'm sorry, '89 and '90.
Yeah,
LA and '88. Like I was able to see that stuff and get exposed to it before YouTube and all that stuff. Because that's really how many kids would be able to see that stuff now. I was able to go, but that's how and then the NCAA and the Big East. When they had everybody in there. I spent so much time watching college basketball,
yeah.
but the kids don't watch it.
Mm-mm.
And like, listen, like as parents, like, sit them down, because we got so much going on too, as well as adults now that
Yeah,
we don't sit down and watch the game with the kids no more. We got, our phone, we gotta make business calls at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and that's very, for me as, now I got my son now, it's like, I want to be able to get myself in a situation to where like, I can like really take that time to really nurture that love for the game.
yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Cause yeah, we got a lot going on too as adults. We can't, do like our parents did us where we all sat in NBC, and we all sat around the TV, that it's just
Yeah,
the things are different.
yeah. It's different there.
But
Uh,
we can give them a piece of it, man. Like the parks, man. Like we don't
no,
play in the
man.
parks.
Yeah. I ride around. I ride around town, man. I see so many empty basketball courts, man.
Yeah, but I think there's a thing where I look at it like and us as dads, right? Like, and I consider you a dad, even though your kids are older than mine, but at the same time, like I have kids that are not mine, but they like like I think there's a thing to be said, and I just think of these things of like like man, let's like Blacktop Day, man, or like that needs to be a thing, man. Like we got to get back to basically like this, man. We got to get back to building the love of the game in these kids, man. Like I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
And there's ways to do it,
yeah. I used to. So I used to live in Fayetteville, right? I grew up in Fayetteville. Before I moved to Fayetteville, I lived in a smaller town called Spring Lake. Well, both of these towns are basically adjacent to a military installation, Fort Bragg.
Be at Fort Bragg, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so man, I used to get with my I used to get with like some kids that were older than me, and that we used to jump in the car and go to Fort Bragg Saturday morning to go hoop because they had like 8, 9 gyms on Fort Bragg.
Mm.
So we was on the hardwood, just hooping on Saturdays like all day. And then when we couldn't play at Fort Bragg, well, we went to the blacktop. But we had to hoop, man. Like that was it. That was life, man. Like they say ball is life, like ball
I
was
remember I
life
used to
back
be
then.
out. Yeah, I used to be out, back home in New York, bro. Used to be out there in the summer, 90 degrees,
Hmm. Yeah.
hooping for 6, 7 hours
Yeah,
outside,
yeah,
hooping.
now it's like 105 degrees.
Yeah, right now, yeah, out there it's crazy. But like, but yeah, man, like, and just playing. And like, and
Mm,
the thing is, like, you develop that creativity. Now these
yeah.
kids is all trained and drilled out. So, like, even like when I do training, bro, like, I don't like, people always ask me, like, yo, y'all do like what kind of training y'all do? I'm like, bro, this stuff is game simulated. We don't do the dribbling through cones
So
87,000 times. Like, people go, people go watch my stuff on Instagram and YouTube,
yeah,
and you won't see me putting kids
let
through
me
67 combinations.
let me ask you this, man. Uh, how do you create a playmaker when most drills are essentially to, basically you trying to figure out a way to score.
The score, yeah.
So I feel like that's becoming more and more of a lost art is like somebody who's just a genuine playmaker. Like it's not too many players that think like pass first. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Yeah.
me. That's just my
No,
opinion
they
though.
don't.
Like,
Everybody is used to trying to figure out how to get a bucket, and that's not everybody's gift. Like
yeah, it's
bucket getters, man, like that is a hard to be a bucket getter is the hardest thing to do in the sport, man. That's not an easy task, man. Like there's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of it is feel, man. Like if you don't have that natural feel and that touch, because the hand-eye coordination is a big part of it. You know, your balance, a lot of these kids like they want to work, they worry about getting a bucket, but yeah, they can't create opportunities, right? I'll say
yeah,
that. Like playmaking, yes, playmaking, create opportunity. You can't create opportunities for your teammates, like whether it's to get yourself, open or to get them a bucket or something easy. Like when a lot of this stuff comes down to like transition buckets, a lot of these kids don't even know how to play in transition, bro. Like this transition offense, like that you watch in typical high school basketball, especially out here, is sloppy. The
yeah,
amount of turnovers, missed layups, drop passes, fumbling the ball off their feet. They can't play with in space, let alone in the half court. But like, I don't even like doing one-on-one training. People always ask me about that.
yeah,
I don't like doing it because you have to be able to play with other people on the court.
yeah,
You have to be able to
yeah.
read and see help defenders. Yeah, you may be able to beat somebody one on one, but unfortunately, y'all, I don't know if y'all knew this or
They
not,
coming.
but it's 5 on 5.
Yeah,
And high school basketball, just because of the simple fact of the shooting is not as great, the floor is shrunk. There's not as much spacing, and most people are gonna play zone anyway. So you don't have time to do all these moves. This, like a zone is built literally to keep you out of the paint. So you can't do 2, 3 dribble moves on a zone. So what do you need to do? You gotta be able to move without the ball. You gotta be able to catch and shoot. You gotta be able to pass fake and pivot and
yeah,
get to slots and like so. A lot of the stuff that like I see folk doing, and no disrespect, like you teach the ability that you can teach to, in my opinion, right? Like so, if that's all you can give the kids is a bunch of drills to where like they're just gonna dribble their heart out and you know what I mean, like cool, but like it's much bigger than like posting a couple clips on Instagram because it's exciting and it's not because the truth understand
mhm,
the real specifics that are very important and key to winning basketball are the boring stuff.
yeah. Rebounds.
So like, and the truth of the matter is, man, like people's attention spans, including the people that's coaching, are this short. So instead of teaching a kid how to shot fake and sidestep and shoot the ball, or teaching a kid how to rip through, pivot, take one dribble and shoot and rise up, I'm bored. Bring the cones out. Let's go ham with the dribbling. Like, let's go crazy with the dribbling because I'm bored.
Yeah,
That's really all that is, man.
yeah. Well, I'm not a trainer, man, so I can't really speak on that. But what I will say is, in watching Jordan and even like Kobe, because once Jordan retired the first time, I just completely took a hiatus from basketball altogether. It's kind of a heartbreaking moment for me. But I knew that time, I knew it was coming at some point. But anyway, just looking over the years, looking at how he played basketball, it was really just efficiency with the ball, man.
Efficient, yeah.
It's like boom, you make your move, and then of course he got better over time. Like first years in the league was just pure raw athleticism,
Yeah.
but then he just mastered like mid range footwork, and he could just kill you with one dribble.
Mm,
And so I to that to that point, like I really understand what you're saying. Like it don't really take like all these dribble combos to get a bucket. You know what I'm saying? Just a couple dribbles and pull up or, whatever. But yeah, the cones it could be, what's the word I'm looking for? It could be mundane sometimes.
kids deserve better from us, man, like as
Yeah,
coaches.
for
They
sure.
deserve our absolute best, especially if you're going to take folks' money and talking about I'm developing players or I'm training players or I'm doing this, that, and the third. A lot of these kids, their mindset is the biggest thing that needs the work. A lot of them are lazy or they don't or they haven't been pushed, or they don't have confidence or they're too timid or they're
Yeah.
not vocal. We got a lot of point guards out here who don't talk.
They on mute. They got the
They
ball
on
up
mute
top on mute.
on mute. Like Like it's already hard for y'all because there's more players playing y'all position. I'm 6'8". There's a lot less of me than there are y'all little guards. So,
For sure.
I can maybe get away with being quiet. Y'all can't. 10 of y'all running around and there's only one of me on the court in high school.
Yeah, for sure. So, in terms of coaching, man, what's one thing that you'll never compromise on, regardless of the situation?
Attitude, man.
So let me take it further. Like, what type of attitude is just completely unacceptable? Like, you know,
Acting like basketball, playing, practicing, working out is the worst part of your day. You've seen it. We all have seen it as coaches, as people on the sideline. This is a game. If
yeah,
you can't be enthusiastic or excited to play a game, to work at a craft that you say that you enjoy and that you're passionate about, if this is the worst part of your day, get out the gym.
get out the gym.
Like, get out. Like,
Yeah,
you can go work.
you know what?
There's places that's hiring. You know what I mean? Like, y'all can
It's
go get jobs,
it's crazy because I see kids on the bench yawning in the middle of a game.
yawning, or just
Like,
like,
yeah, like where they do that at,
or just
man?
quiet, or just like looking like they ready to go, or on their phone.
Yeah, that's wild. On the phone,
Listen,
on the bench.
y'all could go get jobs. Go to Whataburger. They'll hire. You know what I mean? Go to Chick-fil-A. You know what I mean? Target, like, Foot Locker. Like, I'm sure you'll have much more fun doing that. If playing a game is the most dreadful thing in your life
Yeah,
today, nah, listen. You don't need to be out here.
yeah. So how do you balance between developing outstanding athletes while preparing young adults or young teens to succeed beyond life in sports?
Now, that's a good question, man, because it's, like sometimes, like as coaches, right, you want to win. So sometimes, you'll like overlook certain character flaws in players that you have for the
Yeah,
sake of winning. Like it happens, bro. It happens to every coach. You can't, like, there's not a coach that's walking that could ever say that that's not happened, right?
appreciate you calling that out, man. That was a big one.
Now, like I tell people, like, once again, I coach players
Yeah.
that are in jail right now for murder.
Oh man.
And like some of the stuff, like like it shocked me. I was like, wait, him? Then other stuff was like, yeah, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that being a thing.
Aaron
Like,
Hernandez.
yeah, like the signs are there, man. It's just like you have to hold fast to what you believe to be true and what you believe to be right.
Mm-hmm.
And you try to meet kids where they're at. You try to help them. Some kids, I had to learn this as a coach. You think early on, you think you can save every kid. You can't. You can't save every kid, man. Like, you want to, but you have to be able to live with that part of it too. Is like some kids you just can't help. I will
Yeah.
be the first one to tell people, I'm like, yo, like every player, every kid ain't good for me to be coaching. Some of y'all, it's better I don't coach y'all
Yeah.
because you will hate me for the rest of your life.
Keeping it
That's
transparent.
yeah, yeah, or maybe it's just better I just train your kid and not coach him because I can't coach that full time.
Mm.
I can better serve him just kind of being here and working with him, 2 days a week, or and not instead of every day, because this is a gradual thing I got to work. Yeah, I mean it's just the reality, and a lot of coaches they got to be honest, man. Like of you can't let the talent blind you so much to ignore the fact of like this just may not be a good fit or not.
Right.
But like I've had players that I've coached that have been very successful in life, and you're like, dang man, like shoot, I was worried about what's it called, but it looks like the stuff that we did with it ended up working out. End up getting through them. Some kids, dang man, like that joker really messed his life up.
I mean, hey, at the end of the day, you got to be accountable for your actions and know that there's consequences.
So yeah, so I mean, for me, it's like just holding tight to like your principles, like whatever it is that you're trying to get across, man, and teach these kids. Like just teach. Some will take the information, some won't. I always go to that like parable in the Bible where it talks about like where the seed fell on specific certain types of ground, and then
Yeah.
some withered, some plants withered away, some grew and multiplied, some grew for a time and then, didn't stick around with it.
Yeah,
Same thing in when it comes to coaching these kids, man. Like you plant certain seeds in kids. Some kids take it, they grow from it. Some kids they take it for a time, but then let it, fall to the wayside. And other kids they don't even hear it, and they don't even get a chance to even let it settle.
yeah. Happens, man. So I want to get into the topic of why the Sports Academy, Ascension Sports Academy. Why should parents and kids consider coming over to work with you at this new organization? So if you're speaking directly to a family who's considering coming over to the academy, what do you want them to know that makes this opportunity unique?
Yeah, as far as the uniqueness of the opportunity, I think it's just like I judge success for each individual player, first of all, is getting a gauge of where they're at to start, right? Like, I'm not here, once again, I promise the hard work, right? I really want to see your child get better and not just a little better, significantly better over the course of time. I'm not here just to take your money for, a couple weeks, days out the week, or, just, kind of run, a little one off here and just
Uh-huh.
drag as much money in the pot as possible and then take off and you don't see me for 6 months. Like this is about consistent. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
This is consistent growth development over the course of months, years. Once again, the kids that are with me right now have been with me for years.
yeah,
You have obviously some new kids coming in and new kids that's starting to come along, and whether they're coming to train, whether they're coming to be a part of the team that plays this fall and winter. But I always tell her like this is a process, and I believe over the course of time, if you stick with me and stick with what we got going on, you will see significant growth and results,
yeah,
right? In regards to your performance, your kids' confidence level, the way they act, the way they treat other people, the way they conduct themselves, the way they just walk around, their confidence level, you will see results.
mhm.
And which if you're looking for, a promise that I'm gonna make your kid into Aja Wilson or Caitlin Clark or Olivia Miles or Caleb Wilson. I cannot promise you that. Those are special individuals that were gifted in a way that most people are not.
Yeah,
But I can promise you that we will work like them, that
yeah.
we will put in the hours they put in, that you
Promise
will
to work.
learn. Yeah, you'll be disciplined like them, and that type of discipline, effort, energy will not carry you over just in the game of basketball. You'll be a good basketball player for sure. If you stick with me long enough, you're gonna be a good basketball player. That's facts, but you also will be just as good at basketball as you are in real life.
Okay. Well, that's it. That's the unique opportunity right there. Parents are trusting coaches and educators with one of the most important people in their lives. What commitment can families expect from you as a coach, mentor, and a leader?
I show up every day, whether I'm sick, whether I got bills to pay, whether I got argument with my 2 year old, whether my wife needs this or my mom need that. I show up every day.
Show up for me, man.
Yeah,
Show
yeah.
up.
Like listen, every player that you can talk to that, and you can ask my players, and I could have you talk to them directly. Any player that has been with me for an extensive period of time, any parent that's been with me or any of my programs for an extensive period of time, Coach John always shows up.
Yeah, hey, I can attest to that. Every damn tournament I'm at, I see you. And you stand out, man, cause you 6'8".
Yeah, you ain't missing me. But
Yeah,
like Coach John always shows up.
man, Coach John be in the building, y'all. I'm serious.
And like if anybody like, and I'm very approachable. I know some people may look at like, yo, that who's that, that tall dude, man.
Man,
Like,
bro,
because
six eight, man.
a lot of people see me and like I don't, and they. What funny thing is like, do you watch like the stuff on Instagram? I am yes, very intense individual as in the four lines,
Yeah, for sure.
but I'm not like that in person. I'm the complete opposite of that in person, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm very approachable. Like folk can talk to me like because I know people recognize, right? Like people recognize me. Like I'm not I'm Yeah, you cannot miss me, man. Like you said,
Mm,
bro. Like you can't
yeah.
miss me.
Nah.
So like, yo, like, and it's not even just a thing of like, hey, like, yo, can you come train my kid? Like, yo, like, I played and I coached in college. I've been around this game for 3 decades.
Yeah.
Yes, I am like, I'm not that old, but I am that old, right? I'm 37.
Yeah.
So right, like I've gone through it. I've made mistakes throughout my process as a young student athlete. I've had success as a young student athlete. I have things that I wish I could have done differently. I have things that I did great that I'm proud of. As a coach, I had done things that I'm proud of, done things as a coach I'm not proud of. Have been around really good players, have played against some really good players. I've coached some really good players throughout my time. I've seen a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if you need advice, man, like once again, I'm not after nobody's money. Uh,
Yeah. Nah.
like I'm not after nobody's money. I believe like if you do good work and you're an expert and you are focused on developing your craft, the money's gonna come, right?
Yeah. True.
But folk can re- folk can hit me up if they just have questions about just like, yo, what do I need to do for my kid because they're struggling with this or they're struggling with that or they need help with this. I'm very approachable individual, man. Like so I'm not someone who, is like, oh, you gotta play for me to help you.
Yeah.
That ain't me. Or you gotta, pay me for me to, give you a word of advice.
No consultation fee.
Yeah, there's no consultation fee. Now, obviously, if you want to stick around and you want to be here for a long period of time, like obviously, like, everybody understands how this works. But,
Yeah.
you know, the truth of the matter is, man, like, yeah, I'm here to help people. And I get the most passion and joy out of helping other people and seeing other people be successful.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my playing career. I had a successful one. And I am not jealous of nobody's kid, neither am I a fan of anybody's kid. I'm not fans of any of y'all kids. I want to help y'all kids. When I say I'm not a fan, I mean like I'm not so blinded by their talent or ability that I look past whether it's certain flaws in their game or their character, or just fans to where I can't just hold them accountable
Yeah.
if I'm coaching them. You
For
know,
sure.
I'm fan
Yeah.
like there's certain players that I really like. I will say this on publicly, like Lanice Joseph, I think is the best player in the state. Janiyah Cunningham, I think is the best player in South Carolina, and it's not because like I'm trying to get anything out of those folk or anything like that, but I will say that because I think this also needs to be said too as
Mhm.
well when it comes to those two young ladies specifically. A lot of people will point out to the fact that they're undersized for the position, that different things or criticisms people may have of why they're not, or why people think they're not that, right?
Mhm.
But there is not a player in North Carolina that is more consistent and productive across high school and AAU ball, and that has consistently gotten better year after year after year than Lanice Joseph. Same
Yeah.
thing goes for South Carolina, Janiyah Cunningham. There's not been a player since ninth grade coming up to now that has not been more consistent, that has not been more productive, whether it's high school or AAU to now. All
Yeah.
the other things that people want to talk about, which makes X player or said player better or ranked higher, I don't care about that. Because what we don't ever equate, we always talk about talent when it comes to ranking these kids. We never equate the character of the individuals. Those two girls, those two young ladies, are dedicated to their craft and getting better.
Yeah. I could see that.
Every year I see them two young ladies, they get freaking better.
Yeah.
And they put that and they kick, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it's here or in Iowa or in Las Vegas or wherever they playing, they get after it.
Yeah.
So, like, regardless of what everybody wants to say or talk about, I will say that publicly because I don't hear nobody talking about that. I hear people talking about a lot of other things out here, but they ain't talking about like giving those two the proper respect in their respective states in their class.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, but I like my eyes work.
Yeah. I haven't seen Janiyah play very much. I did see her working out with Coach Wynn at some point, but I mean, I see every time she get an offer, it pops up on my feed.
I've seen them play live enough over the course of the
Yeah.
last 3.5, 4 years.
Now
Them two,
I've seen Lanice Joseph play. Yeah, and to me, she's the real deal. Like,
She's the real deal, bro. Both
yeah,
of them are like the same, like,
yeah.
they got the same type of energy when it comes to they just hoop.
I can't wait to see both of them at the next level, man. It's gonna
Yeah,
be,
and they are high character kids because
yeah,
you have to be a high character kid to put in the amount of work and consistently get better and grow as you go up. As you get more successful, you continue to work harder.
yeah.
Some of these kids, bro, some of these kids out here, they get to a certain stage, they start feeling good about themselves, and you start seeing gradually they start. It ain't a slant drop, but it's like a slow decline
It's
because they got comfortable.
that's a descension, not a ascension.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We not trying to but once again, bro. Like that's how I live life.
Yeah, yeah,
That's my when I thought of the name, that was what I was thinking, man. It's just like, and I gravitate towards individuals who think like,
yeah. No, that's perfect.
you know,
But
wherever you're at in life, man. Like that's how I think. Like you just continue to move forward, move up.
up,
You know,
up and forward.
yeah.
So that's a good segue though, because you talked about Lanice and Janaya. So do you believe it's more important to recruit talent or to develop it? Tell me why.
You have to. The talent is the thing that gets your eyes. When you're a college coach, you know what can play at your level and what can't, right? And there's probably a baseline in regards to what they gotta have this, they gotta have that, they gotta right. Within that baseline of like what you can't go below, right? When it comes to just natural basketball instincts, ability, athleticism, height, all those different uncontrollable components, right? Because like you can only make your vertical so much better, right? You can't make yourself taller. You can, add some muscle strength to your frame. You can make yourself a little bit faster, but you're not going to take massive leaps in your physical performance so drastically to where it just basically makes you a completely different player. Like we ain't having no Anthony Davis, 6'2" to whatever he, turned and when it. I don't know if you know the story about Anthony Davis when he was a junior. He was basically like 6'4" and then jumped to 6'11", became no one playing the country. That's an anomaly, right? Right. So there's a baseline in regards to what can play at your level from just a raw talent standpoint.
Hmm.
But then it's about what's in that player because, yeah, it's important to develop talent. Most definitely, bro.
Okay.
Can that talent be developed?
Yeah.
What's the inner workings of this individual that is going to tell you that they're going to work hard even when they're not successful right out the gate, which most freshmen you not gonna be. If you
Yeah.
coming into college, you ain't gonna be successful. You're gonna have some big time lumps and bumps along the way. So
Yeah.
I believe that yeah, the talent is important. It's obviously what moves us as coaches to look and say like, yo, shoot, like, yo, who is that? But then it's like, all right, like, yo, and I don't understand how these coaches offer kids without
Yeah.
seeing them practice.
Yeah. I wonder that too sometimes. I'm like, man.
Have you seen this kid in the workout? Have you
Yeah.
seen this kid when they get tired? Have you
Yeah.
seen this kid when it gets tough? When they're down by 20? How they
Yeah.
react?
Yeah, that sound like something similar to what Don was saying on either a podcast or just a post on social media. But yeah, she talked about that. Like she don't want to see, she don't want to recruit a player based off of like when they at their highest moments. She want to see how they respond to being, missing 12 shots in a row.
In a row, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm paraphrasing, but I get what you're saying. And looking beyond athletics, what's something about coaching and mentoring young athletes that people outside of the profession often misunderstand?
If you really care and you're really passionate about it, it's a full-time job.
Yeah, so let me just say this, man. Like sometimes, cause that really resonates with me, right? Cause I'm in the gym quite often, and I see coaches, man, and they just, they get so frustrated with poor execution and just small things, almost to the point where it's like the top of their head about to just explode. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself like, man, if it's that frustrating, why would you continue to put yourself through that? But you just answered it for me because it's the passion. They just love it so much that
Hmm.
they willing to tolerate the frustration just to get to the other side of it. Continue developing these kids and continue to pour into these kids, man. So that makes
Yeah,
a lot of sense to me.
yeah. Like you'll if you really care, man. Like I've lost sleep over other people's kids. I've cried over other people's kids. You know, I've stayed up late worrying about other people's kids. Probably the parents ain't even worrying about the kids. The parents probably out, hanging out having a good time, and I'm worrying about other people's kids. But like, yeah. And then there's times where it's like, man, why? But it's like, well,
Yeah.
love is a choice, bro. Like when you love something or when you love someone or whatever, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's a choice. Man,
you
man,
know,
bro, hold on,
it's
hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, man. I had to do it, man. I had to do it. Cause that's real, man. Love is a choice.
love is a choice,
Not
man. Like, 'cause
not
it always feel good.
yeah, not just in sports, man, in life, man. So yeah, that hit home, man. That hit
Yeah,
home.
in life, man. Like, 'cause it ain't always gonna feel good. You're always gonna feel like doing certain things for people, but the love you got for them will make you do certain things
Yeah,
for.
yeah. Nah, I like that. I like that.
And that's why it's important for kids to love the game because, like, when you love something, you sacrifice, right? So, like, you'll make the sacrifices for the game that are necessary if you learn to love it.
Yeah. And man, as a parent of a hooper, I find myself sacrificing, man, like trying to help to make sure other kids can make it to the tournament, whether it's buying plane tickets or, you know, letting them tag along when we drive up to the venue. I mean, that's just how much I care, and if I'm in a position to help support a kid or help support an organization through media or doing media days, whatever, like I just want to give back to this community, man. So I just do everything I can to try and to make sure that happens.
Right. I mean, it's dope, man, because, like,
Yeah.
we only here for a short time.
Right.
We
We
don't like, like life is not like
short, bro.
it goes by, man, and like, when you live life selfish, you're just worrying about yourself or what's in it for you.
Yeah.
You kind of rob yourself, man, of what life is supposed to be about, man. You're not here for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. If every student athlete graduated saying one sentence about Coach John, what would you hope that sentence would be? That's a good one.
I think the ones that I've made like a clear and direct impact on from my time coaching since I started
Mhm.
was like, Coach John was always real. He was always real.
For
There's
sure.
nothing fake about Coach John,
Yeah.
and I make that a point, man. Like, like I make it a point not to be that coach that people can say, "Oh, you got favorites." Anybody saying that about me is on drug. They on drug, bro. Mm. I ain't got no favorites.
Man, it's fair. It's
You know,
fair and equitable.
yeah, yeah. Like God, John ain't got no favorites. John just keeps it real, and Coach John loves all his players,
Yeah.
but
I,
love don't always feel good. Love it, love. Hey, when I gotta discipline, or as a parent, when you gotta discipline your child,
mm,
that's love.
yeah, it is.
Disciplining, because you gotta teach them that their ways is incorrect, and you're trying to shield them from making these mistakes so it don't hurt them in the end. So you gotta chastise them so they learn their lesson before it gets worse.
Yeah, I had to
So
I had to
yeah,
t- I had to tell my oldest son, love don't mean I'm a cosign for you to get a car,
yeah,
man.
do whatever you.
It's not what love is, bro. I love you. I'm showing you love by helping you understand how to get a car on your own. That's love to me. Don't
It is
always
love.
feel good though.
Yeah, it's because it's not always, because like if I let my kid eat candy every day, I don't love him. That joke's gonna have high blood pressure, diabetes, hypertension, everything else. He's gonna be walking around here waddling around, and that ain't what he needs to be doing at 2.5 years old. So that's the love I have for him keeps me from giving him what he may want at the time that will make him feel good at the time, but
Yeah,
be a detriment to him later in his life. Same
yeah.
thing goes for the players I coach. Like I love my players. Like if anybody touch them or try to harm them, man, I may kill someone.
Oh,
I may
man.
do it,
No,
but don't mean that I let you get a freeway or a runway to do whatever you want.
hey, don't touch Coach John players, man. You might wind up somewhere you don't want to be.
You know, like especially coaching girls, man. Like it's my responsibility to be in that position to protect them.
Yeah, you gotta protect them, man.
Yeah. Now, if you do something stupid or do something you ain't supposed to be doing, that don't mean I got to run out there and stand in front of a moving obstacle that you don't put yourself in front of.
Yeah,
After you've been told what not to do. But if somebody is attacking you or harming you, yeah, like man, listen, I'm gonna stand there with you, and I'm gonna stay in the fight. If somebody wrongs you, I'm gonna stand in the fight with you. And some of my players can attest that I've done that,
yeah,
and some that can tell you that I stood there and stood in the fire when it wasn't when I could have just kept things kosher
yeah,
and kept things moving,
for sure.
but I didn't. And
Yeah,
I dealt with whatever had to come with that. But Coach John kept it real.
kept it real. What's more challenging, man? Building a successful team or building school culture that people genuinely want to be a part of?
I think it's the school part. The school, like people ask me like about the school aspect of it, and I tell people I wouldn't get into the school aspect of this
Hmm.
unless I had like an academic partner. I would not do this on my own. It's not my one. It's not my passion. Like 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 education and school are two different things to me.
Gotcha.
Like education is as school has to do with it. I believe your faith, your church, your mosque, your religious affiliation has to do with education, educating your kid. I believe that life,
Hmm.
hands-on experience, all that stuff has to do with educating your kid. So I believe in education. School for me, I tell people all the time, like, yo, like I was a high level C student. Like I don't believe like school right now in its current construction in this country is built in a way that is best suited for today's kid. I don't
Yeah,
believe that. I believe that it needs to be strictly, and it needs to be modified to build more competent young people for today's world. And we have not changed the school system in this country for 100 years. We still
yes,
have the same one when we started the Industrial Revolution, when we needed people to be able to do one task and sit in a room for 8 hours and do one or two tasks and recite and repeat just basic standard information. We have not updated the module on education in this country. So it needs to be updated. So the only
okay,
way I would go forward with actually making Ascension Academy a actual school is if I had an actual real legitimate academic partner who's understood academics, educating today's kids.
okay.
I wouldn't be. I'm not doing it.
All
Stick
right,
to. Listen, I'm smart enough to know what I'm good at.
man.
Right.
Say you're gonna stick to basketball, man,
Yeah, basketball and then other sports, obviously.
for sure. Which,
Getting involved with that. But
which,
once again, like, I'm not a volleyball coach, I'm not a football coach, but
what you think
eventually,
about
like,
flag football, man?
I think it's dope. I think if
Yeah,
somebody who's interested in coaching flag football is interested in putting something together, they can holler at me and hit me up. If
man.
somebody's interested in doing something similar for volleyball or track or cross country or boxing or MMA, I do not care. As long as someone has a passion and expertise for it and can explain to me how it makes sense, economically and for the kids in the area, I'm down for it.
Yeah, I really think it's just my personal opinion, but I think girls flag football would be a good move for Ascension Sports Academy.
I almost definitely will take your advice on that.
I'm telling you, man, like just it's exploding. With
No, I
the
see it is, man. I see it most definitely is. And
yeah, did you see that article? They got quite a few athletes from North Carolina that are going to represent in the NF
Olympics.
no in the NFL. It's like an NFL flag football championship game.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. And I also see it's going to be Olympic sport in the Los Angeles Olympics too.
Man, it is, bro. I never knew girls love football so much until I just started
I knew they
watching them.
love football.
I didn't know,
I
man.
went to when I was in college. I knew they loved football. I knew they wanted to play it, but I knew they loved football.
But I'm glad they started that sport, and I'm glad
No,
that
it's dope. Like I think it's
yeah,
dope for the young ladies to be able to like,
I'm glad they
do it.
I'm glad they sanctioned it in the state too. So now we're gonna have state playoffs, man. That's gonna be
Yeah, I
so
saw that. Yeah, I saw that
crazy.
recently too, man.
Yeah. So looking ahead, 5 years from now, right? What would success for the academy look like beyond championships or athletic accomplishments?
I think the thing is just having a permanent home to operate out of, right? To where that's the biggest thing for me because I know like from a coaching and athletic standpoint, that'll, and we're gonna build great people.
Yeah.
But like would really be, that's something that I'm praying for, man, is just being able to find a permanent home location. The only thing with with gyms and sports facilities is just the money and the monetization and the economics behind it. Because brick and mortar costs money, electricity costs money. You got to run events, you got to run programs, you got to do all these different things and I'm not about to rush into getting a permanent situation. I've learned from watching other people in these scenarios and situations try to jump the gun and
Hmm.
try to get into something too early in their business and end up having to pay for it later. I don't necessarily want to do that or put me and my family in that position and my partners in that position to do that either.
Yeah.
It's got to make sense. It's got to be in the right location. It's got to be in a scenario, in a situation to where we could be profitable, to where profitable and affordable.
Hmm.
Because you be profitable, then or you can get a spot, but then your prices are so jacked up, and you could only because I'm not trying to be exclusive. I'm trying to be inclusive. Right now I'm trying to meet people where they're at, right? Meaning like,
Yeah.
there's I think the money in youth sports has gotten it's gotten dumb, man. Like the
Yeah.
amount of money that's being spent right now and that I don't know how this is sustainable and able to be maintained because this stuff seems to get more expensive. Tournaments are getting more expensive. The traveling is getting further and further.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of new to the whole tournament thing, man. But I'm actually hosting my first tournament with
Yeah, I peeped
Southeast
that. Yeah, yeah.
Athletic Events, so it's gonna be interesting. I think the most telltale sign would be, if people decide to participate or if they decide not to. I think is going to speak to the relationships that I've built in this space since I've come into this space. So I've had some good responses and there's been some not so good responses. So only time will tell, but it's honestly it's something that I'm passionate about, so I'm not just going to give up on it so easily.
Yeah, man. And it's, like there's something to be said about just starting small, man.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody got
And
to
just
start somewhere.
being like we want, and I'm not talking about me or you, but I'm saying like we in this culture, we think, there's this overnight success type of deal. There's no such thing as that. That's a fairy tale and a fantasy.
Yeah.
That's a lie. Like anything that's an overnight success will not be sustainable. It's years of preparation, time, effort, trying, figuring it out, failing,
Yeah.
success, learn, fall down, get up, take 3 steps up, take 2 steps back. Like and that's life, man. Like we got to get used to that in life, man, that there's valleys and peaks in life and everything in life is like that, man. Like,
Yeah.
there's some of the most successful people on the planet, man, like still like take losses, it's just their losses are different
Yeah.
than ours,
Ebbs and flows, man. And if a family is watching this interview and still deciding on, if they want to come over to the academy and if it's a right fit, what message would you like to leave them with?
If you just want to be around like genuine people who are super knowledgeable and super educated, specifically, we're talking about basketball because that's what we are offering right now. Then you should want to be around here. If you don't, if you're looking like, if you're looking for something easy, don't come around.
Sure. You
Like, I mean,
you
like,
promised the work.
this, it's not a PC or nice, smooth way I can say this. Like, it just is what it is.
Man, keep it real, John.
If you're looking for shortcuts, if you're looking for something to kind of skate around, hard, difficult, adverse, don't come here because you're gonna be upset every day. Because, we don't, like we ain't in, you know, hey, this ain't IMG Academy, man. This ain't DME. This ain't respectfully. Like those are great. I'm not saying anything's wrong with those, right? But those are great places. I came from a place like that, right? That's where I played at. Played at places like that. But like it's not that. Like it's like yo, we just work really freaking hard, man, like every day. And like our attention to detail is like on 1,000 and like nothing gets past me like nothing. Like everything, every rep, like I see it all. Like I don't miss nothing. Like I'm sharp. Like I know if you caught the ball wrong, I know how
Mhm.
you if you step with the wrong foot, like I see it every and I see not just you when you do it, I can see you and somebody else doing it at the same time. Like so there's no hiding here. So if you're
Attention to
looking for somewhere
detail.
to, yeah, if you're looking for somewhere to hide, this is not where you come because, I put everything out there on the internet for people to see. I don't hide anything about me or my personality or how I coach. I don't hide anything as far as, failures or shortcomings of our team, whether we lose or win.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like everybody can't handle that. But if you can, and if you are serious, and if you know you need to be in an environment that's going to hold you accountable and make you better, and be around coaches who have integrity, if that's what you care about, then come on down. If you don't care about that, if you want to be around whoever you want to be around, who's killed your kids' love of the game, if you want to be around coaches who are knowledgeable, if you want to be around coaches who don't cultivate a passion and a genuine love for the game or discipline or any of that stuff, don't come around.
Yeah. Simple as that. All right, man. I just want to say one last thing, man. So imagine we're having this interview. We're having another interview 4 years from now. You got kids who started out and now they're graduating. What do you hope these young athletes say they gain from being a part of a community that has nothing to do with sports?
That they enjoy the process, man, and it helped them become better people.
I like that.
That they enjoy the ups, like we talked about it, but we enjoyed that process, man, of building something,
Yeah.
of learning how to take our bumps and our bruises along with our wins and our victories, and it made us better, for it, man. Like it made us better people, man. It made us better leaders in the community. It made us better individuals that we can then now multiply, take, I'm one person, but if imagine, we take, the information that, me and the individuals that I work with, we pass it down to these group of kids and these kids pass it down to another group. And that's how we
Hmm.
make this situation, the culture, the basketball culture, the community better for everybody is because we don't just like, we ain't just worried about ourselves, man. Like we here to pay it forward.
For
So
sure.
somebody paid it forward to me, somebody helped me, somebody gave it to me. I'm about to give it to these youngins, and then they about to do the same, and it just multiplies.
Yeah. I like that, man. I appreciate you sitting down, man, for
Now I appreciate you, man.
yeah, this was great, man. I can't wait to share it with the people. And I just look forward to seeing Ascension Sports Academy keep growing. I know just based on the passion that you have to work with these young student athletes, man, I think is going to just take you leaps and bounds, man. So respect to you for what you bring to the community. And I wish you nothing but the best, man.
Now I appreciate it. Same here, man. I wish you nothing but the best because I know you put in a lot of work, man, over the last couple of years. So
Yeah.
you get it. So,
Yeah.
and
Got
that's
it.
all we can do, man.
That's
Is
it.
just continue to put the work in, and who's supposed to come around and who will come around, man, and the people that's supposed to see it will see it.
For sure. All right, man. Well, we going to get on out of here, man.
Bro, I appreciate you.
All right, man. Take it easy.